Have you ever wondered, what would happen if a woman stepped into the royal palace, only for the door behind her to lock forever? In a place where every gaze must bow before its leader, there is a woman who dares to lift her head. Always smiling, always perfect. That woman is Ri Sol-ju, the First Lady of North Korea. In her hands are luxurious Dior handbags. Behind her are private jets, golden palaces, and power wrapped in velvet. But don't let the elegance fool you. She has no phone, no freedom to choose friends. She is forbidden from speaking to any man, except her husband. She lives as a symbol, and that symbol is not allowed to falter, not even by a single smile. From a talented singer to a fashion icon, from a girl under stage lights to a woman imprisoned in silence. Ri Sol-ju may be one of the most mysterious women in Asia, where grace can cost an entire lifetime. And today, we will step inside those gilded gates to discover whether she is truly a queen or simply the most beautiful prisoner in the world. Don't look away, because the truth behind this woman will leave you speechless. Now let us return to the past, where it all began, with a young girl born into one of North Korea's most privileged classes. If you've ever wondered what could turn a young girl into the most closely watched woman in Asia, it didn't begin with power. It began with a voice. Born in the late 1980s into an elite family in Pyongyang, Ri Sol-ju did not grow up in darkness like millions of other North Koreans. She didn't have to queue for food or live in an old electricity-deprived apartment. She was part of the lucky few, a class sheltered and groomed to serve the regime. Her mother was a renowned obstetrician. Her father, a respected academic. In that home, Ri Sol-ju grew up among pianos, vocal coaches, and ballet classes. Not to become an artist, but to become an ideal model for the nation. But then, something happened that changed her fate entirely, something no one dares to mention today. Ri Sol-ju soon revealed a rare talent. Her voice, clear, warm, full of emotion, could silence entire halls. She wasn't just beautiful. She had presence, strength, and irresistible aura. She was selected for the Unhasu Orchestra, a place reserved only for performers personally chosen by the regime. Every time she stepped onto the stage, she sang patriotic love songs with eyes both gentle and determined. She didn't know that those very eyes were being closely watched by someone sitting in the front row. In 2005, something strange happened. A beautiful young woman appeared in South Korea, waving flags and shouting, "We are one," as part of North Korea's cheerleading squad. That was her. It was Ri. For the first time, the outside world saw her. And it was also the last. After that event, she disappeared. No images, no explanation, as if she had evaporated from history. Was it because she returned home and was chosen? Or did she already know that stepping into the spotlight meant abandoning herself? From a promising vocalist to a name erased from the media, Ri Sol-ju entered the most dangerous phase of her life. But everything was only just beginning. And if you think that was just a simple sacrifice, wait until you see her reappear, no longer as a singer, but as the first lady of a nuclear regime. Don't look away, because what comes next will completely change the way you see power and silence. Do you believe that someone can vanish from the media, be wiped from history, and then return as if she had never been anyone else? 7 years after her last public appearance, on a July day in 2012, North Korea suddenly released photos of a woman walking beside Kim Jong Un, the newly appointed leader who had just succeeded his father. That woman was Ri Sol-ju. No more stage lights, no more microphone, no more voice. In their place, silence. Her once glamorous dresses were replaced by a classic Chanel suit. Her hair curled neatly, makeup subtle but sharp. Everything was crafted to perfection, down to the last centimeter. She was no longer a singer. She had become an icon. The question is, why? Why did a celebrated voice disappear? And how did she become the woman Kim Jong Un chose? According to South Korea's intelligence agency, the marriage was arranged hastily after the death of Kim Jong-il, the great leader, the symbol of loyalty. At that time, Kim Jong Un was too young, too isolated, and viewed with suspicion by the military elite. North Korea needed an image, stable, refined, steady. They needed a modern goddess, someone to soften the missiles, the threats, and the chilling secrets behind the political harem. They chose Ri Sol-ju. She was given the title Beloved First Lady, a title not used since the era of Kim Il-sung. But what lies behind that title? Love? Or a political contract? Perhaps even Ri herself never imagined that the moment she took Kim Jong Un's hand, she wasn't just entering the palace, she was stepping into a life with no way out. From that moment on, she was no longer a person, she was a model, a mask, the soft glow placed beside a hardened regime. She was no longer allowed to be herself, she had to become an idea of beauty, obedience, and flawless perfection. But if you think she lived like a queen from that moment on, you're about to rethink everything. The next part takes you past one of Pyongyang's most tightly sealed gates, into the place where Ri Sol-ju lives each day, inside a palace of luxury, yet under control, so suffocating it reaches her every breath. Don't look away. The truth inside that golden cage will send chills down your spine. What would you think if you lived in a 12-square-kilometer palace with an Olympic-sized pool, a private spa, and a nuclear bunker, yet you weren't allowed to step outside alone, not even half a step? That is Ri Sol-ju's life. A queen without a throne, a wife without freedom, a symbol polished to perfection, but monitored down to her last inhalation. Ryongsong residence, where she lives, isn't a house, it's a velvet-covered fortress. Everything inside is extravagant, from gold-plated dining tables to a private horse-drawn carriage for her daughter. But behind all that shimmering marble is a 24/7 surveillance system, designed to monitor the very woman the nation publicly reveres. She has no phone, no social media, no right to talk to old friends, relatives, or any man, except her husband. Even her hairstyle must be approved beforehand. And worse, even when she needs to go to the bathroom, she must inform her guards. Can you imagine? A woman who once sang freely on stage now cannot even control the most private parts of her life. Every public appearance of Ri Sol-ju is scripted like a political film. From her neutral Dior outfits, to the way she tilts her head to greet citizens, to the precise 3-second smile, to stepping exactly 2 steps back when Kim Jong Un exits a car, everything is trained. Everything is a stage effect for a regime obsessed with controlling even human emotion. She cannot make mistakes, because even a single misplaced glance could shake the entire palace. This isn't a marriage, it's a survival contract, the golden shackle. And the most terrifying part? In North Korea, there is no concept of divorce. Once you are Kim Jong Un's wife, you remain his wife until death. No escape, no choice, no different tomorrow. So is Ri Sol-ju truly living or merely performing? Is she really a powerful woman or just an unwilling actress in an endless political drama? But this is still not the darkest part, because next, you'll discover that her smile may be a mask hiding an invisible power struggle between the most influential women in Pyongyang. And it's far from elegant. Don't leave this video because everything is about to get extremely dangerous. If you think that the moment she became First Lady, Ri Sol-ju lived like a real queen, you're about to be shocked. Because what awaits her behind those gold-plated gates isn't power, but a gilded cage with no key. If you think Ri Sol-ju is the only powerful woman inside the North Korean palace, think again. Because there is another name, quietly weaving influence behind the scenes. Her name is Kim Yo-jong, Kim Jong-un's younger sister. And she is the only family member allowed to stand beside him at major state events, shoulder to shoulder with military generals, even giving orders. Unlike Ri, who appears in soft light, dressed in Dior with an elegant smile, Yo-jong appears like a sharp shadow, cold, calculating, and decisive. She doesn't need a microphone, because her gaze alone can silence a conference room. And in the international political world, many believe she is not just the sister, but the hidden successor. And then, in 2020, the world witnessed the first sign of a silent battle between these two women, though no one dared say it out loud. It happened when defamatory leaflets about Ri Sol-ju were released across the border from South Korea, carrying photoshopped images meant to humiliate her. It seemed like a small incident, but just a few days later, North Korea blew up the Inter-Korean Liaison Office, one of the rare diplomatic symbols between the two Koreas. Who gave the order? Kim Jong Un? Possibly. But international analysts believe it was Yo-jong's command. She, the one who had just issued warnings to South Korea, the woman behind North Korea's sharp, aggressive messages to the world, the figure gradually replacing the strategic spokesperson role in the propaganda machine. And above all, the one sending a clear message. Whoever attacks North Korea's image will be burned without warning. But the most frightening part wasn't the explosion, it was Ri Sol-ju's silence. She said nothing. She did not appear. She showed no reaction. Was that submission or strategy? Is she being pushed aside or quietly waiting for the right moment? No one knows. But clearly, these two women, one a soft symbol, the other a velvet-wrapped dagger, are circling each other in a silent chess match. And the loser could disappear forever without anyone allowed to ask a single question. In a palace where words can kill, silence is the most dangerous weapon. And that battle isn't just about power. It's about something even more sacred, the next generation of the Kim dynasty. Hold on to your seat, because the next chapter reveals Ri Sol-ju's most hidden role, the woman quietly raising the future successor. And that may be the biggest gamble of her life. Don't look away. What comes next will make you rethink this entire power game. What happens when the most controlled woman in the country is secretly raising the person who may one day control the entire nation? While global media focuses on missile launches, summits, or Kim Yo-jong's political moves, something far more important is happening. Behind the sealed doors of the Ryeongsong residence, Ri Sol-ju's role as a mother. According to South Korea's National Intelligence Service, Ri and Kim Jong Un have 3 children. But for nearly a decade, no one ever saw them until 2022. That year, the world was stunned when Kim Ju-ae, the couple's daughter, appeared at a ballistic missile launch inspection, her posture steady, black coat, confident gaze, and most notably, military generals bowing to her. That was not a family outing. It was a silent declaration of the future successor. Yue does not attend public school. She does not study abroad. Her entire education takes place within a top-secret compound, taught by carefully selected specialists. What does she learn? Beyond academics, she trains in royal etiquette, political strategy, diplomacy, rhetoric, horseback riding, shooting, swimming, and even skiing. Each skill is symbolic. In North Korea, knowing how to ride a horse is not just a sport. It is a leadership statement, and the person believed to be overseeing this entire training process is Ri Sol-ju. She, the woman once stripped of the right to be herself, is now shaping a new version of herself. Stronger, colder, trained not to be devoured by the throne her father sits upon. Perhaps Ri no longer dreams of freedom for herself, but is instead betting everything on her daughter's future. Because if Jue truly becomes the successor, then for the first time in the history of the Kim dynasty, power could rest in the hands of a woman. And if that happens, Ri Sol-ju's role is no longer symbolic. She would become the mother who opens a new era. An era where the throne is inherited not just through blood, but through strategy, through silence, through a pair of watchful eyes guiding each step of the girl who carries the fate of a nation. But every gamble carries a risk. And if Jue is Ri's ace card, then the next part will reveal the darkest side of the game. Something capable of crushing both her hope and her heart. Stay right where you are, because part 7 will be the most painful chapter yet. When we uncover that in the royal court, love might just be the most luxurious thing of all. What do you think Ri Sol-ju's true role is? A controlled symbol, or a mother quietly reshaping the fate of an entire dynasty? Leave your thoughts below. I genuinely want to hear your perspective. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so you won't miss the next stories of power and secrets where truth always hides behind perfect smiles. If you think life in the palace is filled with sweet hand-holding and loving gazes, then ask yourself, why has no one ever seen Ri Sol-ju cry? Because in North Korea, emotions aren't a privilege, they're a threat. From the moment she entered her marriage with Kim Jong Un, every personal feeling Ri had to be censored. No one is allowed to see her sad. No one is allowed to hear her complain. And certainly, no one is allowed to know whether she's hurt. In a world where even a glance carries political meaning, a single misplaced tear could be considered treason. And if you think that's heartbreaking enough, just wait for the next part. Because behind all that silence, Ri Sol-ju, the woman whose voice once moved entire stages, has lost something greater than freedom, greater than love. She has lost herself.